preparar. Yo no juego con bandoleros, porque yo sé que voy a ganar. Yo sé que voy a ganar, a la acción mía voy a pichar. Y yo no voy por reparar. Yo no juego con bandoleros, porque yo sé que voy a ganar. Yo sé que voy a ganar.
Hey, it's a sweet day.
Hey, rated F land, baby. How's it going?
What's going on, guys? How you doing, Robbie? You feeling better finally?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm trying my best. I see you have a new face downstairs here.
Yes, we got a new face. You got a new face that's gonna help us run this place.
Yep.
He's right here, guys. He's right here.
Oh, pick him up.
You gotta play around with it.
All right, guys. So if you notice now, we have a new face who's not been on our show. So please, guys, welcome into our show, Trey Thomas. He is a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend who is now becoming great friends with us.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Twice removed.
Twice removed.
I'll take it.
But you know what? I do want to say first off, guys, really quick, do want to introduce him. Trey was was in the Air Force for 6 years. You said you were in the avionics, correct?
Yep. I was staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant?
Yep.
And then he's also a certified health education specialist.
Yes.
I missed one other thing, and so I ended up writing up that you own about 6 tower gardens from Juice Plus.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks. Oh,
and
man.
I have one, so I can only count for the one that I have, and we love ours.
I have a hibiscus plant on the patio if that counts. I make tea sometimes.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's good for you. Good for you.
Catch up with you guys.
So, Trey, if you want to just kind of give a little bit, just to our community, see who you are, and just a little bit more.
Yeah, sure thing. So kind of backing off the health education specialist, I have my master's from the University of Florida in health education and behavior. And the reason I really wanted to do that was because, I understand what it takes to reach people who, they know what to do and they just need that little bit of information to do it, and someone to help them kind of follow through and make sure that behavior sticks. So that's what I wanted to do, because, so many people, they say, well, they go to the doctor's office, or doctors say someone comes in there and they don't take their advice. They just kind of bypass it. So, I think maybe it's the approach is the issue with that. And that's where I think I like to come in and be more hands-on, especially on the behavior. And I have a psychology degree also from Tennessee State. But so that's pretty much all that. And I love a lot of tower gardens. I want to get about 20 to 40 of them. That's my goal. So I want to have like a little farm.
How many?
Yeah, 20 to 40.
Wow.
Because I want to flood this area full of fresh produce. That's my
it's
goal.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, Robbie. I know you see me at my house that we have the one that we used, and I want to get more because obviously I want to get my own house and we can kind of go from there. But yeah, they're great, bro. And it's I've heard of farm to table. This one is tower to table, so it's so awesome that
you can bring the tower to your table.
Literally,
just roll it over. Yeah.
We grew peppers. We grew lettuce. We were growing. We had a cucumber, one cucumber grow, and I was so happy for the one, and it was delicious. And it's all in regularity. It's organic because there's no pesticides on it. There's no nothing. It's just whatever we grow with it, and it's just so good, and it tastes. When you buy it from the bags from Walmart, Publix, wherever, it has a distinct taste. And when you grab it from the tower, we were biting it off the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's just so good.
Completely different taste. Huh?
It changes it up. It's so green, so rich.
Right.
Sometimes it's a little too rich, so you're not used to that. That first couple of times, it was
some of the greens too be really spicy. I had some mustard greens, I wasn't sure what was what. And I was like, oh, look, the little baby greens. I'll pick some off. And I go and made it. I was like, whoa, all right. Whew, that cleared me right up. But then I went and picked them all, and they were delicious. So it was good. But
the basil that we grow, oh my God, it was so good. It smelled so great too.
Yeah, what do you put it on?
We started doing it with like, because I'm a big pasta guy. I love meat.
Yeah.
So that's how we started it. But my wife tends to put it onto little things. She's put it into salad. She's kind of the cook in the house. I kind of just devour whatever she decides she wants to make.
That's good. That's good.
So, guys, as you see, today is going to be mainly about our nutrition. We're going to be talking about, as the title says, what do you think about nutrition? So, before we get any further, I always like to do this. We're going to make sure that you guys, if you haven't done so by now, I don't know what we're doing that we can't make you do this faster. But like and subscribe to the channel, and then follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram page, which is right here below. As you see, rated F2 is our Twitter, and the rated_F is our Instagram. We post a lot of stuff there. You guys can reach us there, DM us. Just don't slide into our DMs to be creepy.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those.
We've had a couple.
It happens.
Yeah. So weird.
And then we also, for our people who are listening in on us, we have on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify podcasts as well. So, guys, just make sure you guys are, if you're listening in on it and you like the sexy voices of the three of us right now, go ahead and hit that follow button. Give us a good rating. Hopefully 5. I want a 5-star rating. I love those. And then be in there because we got some more working up. We got some things going on. So, in the works, we got it going.
Wonderful.
Yes, some magic's happening. I do want to go ahead and let's go ahead and jump right into this. I had normally it's an Instagram question. I've actually posted it on both Instagram and Facebook. So I did want to kind of see what the people were saying. And here's my question I had. The question was, what does good nutrition mean to you? Okay. And it is actually one of the questions I will bring up later on in the show for us to talk about, but I wanted to hear what the people had first. So that is, so we had a person say that portion control and variety of food is what they consider to be good nutrition. We had another person state all natural foods, which is that's not actually a bad take. And then we also had this well-balanced, healthy meals. This is kind of a mouthful, so I may stutter. Well-balanced, healthy meals. Do not balance unhealthy. Keep them out of your diet. And knowing what we know about pesticides as Roundup and synthetic ways to produce big and much organic is a better way, I guess. I'm trying to see if she was trying to write it in Spanish and English. I think she meant to put. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to the gist of it, it is true though. Like the more balanced diet, as far as keeping away some of the pesticides, like I mentioned with the tower, it's definitely a different take and a better taste.
I think those are all great answers to that question. Because it's going to be different for everybody. And that's the thing is we gotta identify that.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into that question for us, because I think it's a great question to start about when we're thinking about nutrition is where we standpoint. Because I think, and I'll start this one off, because what does good nutrition mean to me was that I'll give you both. I'm gonna give you what I thought before and how my mind has changed in a lot of ways. So I used to think that if you ate fruit, and I was kind of picky with my fruit, so I stuck to like apples, bananas, sometimes strawberries, and I would sprinkle in something else here and there. And then I would, I said, oh, if I eat greens, when I say greens, I mean greens. Like I was only eating like lettuce, maybe a carrot or two, but I thought that was good nutrition. I thought, oh well, I'm doing my part because I'm at least eating that. Drink water, stay away from juice. Try to stay away from carbs. And the more and more I was getting into it, the more and more I realized now that I was kind of on the right path. I just wasn't eating all of the stuff that I wanted or that I should have had because I was really picky and I just said, I don't like that, and just wouldn't do it. So now I've actually, and my wife is I'll give her a lot of credit for this because I was not eating half the stuff I was eating before. But I do eat tomatoes. I do eat onions. I do eat You know, now I hear super greens, and I was thinking like the color green, like, oh, I gotta just stick to all these green stuff. But I wouldn't eat all the green stuff. Like I would eat like lettuce and maybe cabbage.
Like, you want some kale? You're like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. That's right.
I used to say that a lot of times. Like, baby steps. Let's take it easy. Like, let me start here, and then I'll work my way. And then, like, now you give me all this plethora of foods, greens and cabbages and carrots, and oh my god, yeah. And onions was the hardest one for me to get over. And I didn't eat it because of this simple fact, what I'm about to state now. But, you know, I found out that, you know, onions have a lot of qualities in it that I didn't honestly knew. My mom used to use it when she cooked. You know, my wife uses it sometimes when she cooks. But to eat it like a raw onion in your salad has so much qualities because of, and just to state one, like this, they showed that it's cancer fighting from the actual vegetable itself. And it's because of the properties that it has. And granted, I wasn't looking into it before, but just to see that vegetables have more nutrition or more values into their nutrition.
Yeah, they're not just something on a plate that you eat, you know, it actually is going to have a purpose in your life, you know. And that's something people think about. They look at the food and they're like, that looks good, I'm going to eat that. And then they're like, what's that going to do to me? What's it going to do for me? You know, and that's a question that doesn't get asked too often. So. True.
And Trey, what do you think about it? What is your take on what good nutrition means to you?
For good nutrition, it is for me is looking at your body and your lifestyle and find out what you need to be the best at what you can give it at that moment. For some, you know, yes, you can take like multivitamins and Juice Plus and have all these other, you know, healthy ways of eating. But we also have to look at kind of what you're eating too. You know, if there's a chemical that's in a food that looks healthy, and it's may say all natural and everything like that, but it may have some hydrogenated product in there that isn't listed, and that'll totally wreck whatever progress you had. Like you were talking about earlier, have you had those digestive issues? That's probably because you had some toxin buildup in there from something you ate, and it just, you know, it didn't let your body do what it needed to do. So for me, good nutrition is, you know, a fully protected body of, you know, yes, with all the fruits and vegetables, I've definitely been eating a lot more too, especially since I've been getting the towers. But, you know, so I've also had those times where in my younger years, I would go out to McDonald's and just give me 2 McDoubles and McChicken and, you know, sit down and eat it with Dr. Pepper. And that's, hey, that was it. But it's that balance that I hear a lot. I think that's also a huge part to it, because you got to listen to your body. If you don't, you know, eventually it's just going to get louder and louder until you stop and got to listen to it and, you know, answer it. So that's kind of my obscure way of good nutrition, but I think that's the best way I can answer it.
No, and that's perfect because, like you said, everyone's is different.
Yeah.
Robbie, I want to hear I'm curious to hear what you, because you've been a black hole since I met you. So
I still am.
I've been kicked out of an all-you-can-eat restaurant before, so it's I understand how that is. Yeah,
buffets are a challenge. So
challenge accepted. That's right.
You know, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, nutrition. My wife is more big on that. Like when she cooks, she'll cook more clean. She always makes a good salad. So even if it's something basic like a Caesar salad, one or the kits they could get from Walmart, she always incorporates some side of salad, vegetable, something good, something that's on that the spectrum of good nutrition. Myself, I'm a steak and potatoes kind of guy. I love to eat. I can throw down, and it's always savory, not necessarily greasy, but it's a big pile of things that you should, you know, Sonny's barbecue, or like either ribs and brisket and this. I love Sonny's, man. Like hearty foods. Yeah, I'm a big. Actually, we had a conversation about that when we were at the
music video.
Yeah, the music video when we were over in Jacksonville shooting a music video just a few weeks back.
Oh, cool.
and we had a conversation about milk. And some of the friends I would call them now because it was a fantastic conversation. But they were like, we don't drink milk. We drink almond milk, or we try to exit 100% because naturally as a human, their ideology of it was you're not supposed to. Me, I find it very hard because I've tried to wean myself off of milk or milk products, but I'm not lactose intolerant or anything of the sort. But I've tried, 2%, 1% skim milk, things like that. I always find myself going back to good old red cap whole milk.
Yeah.
Like I can't shake it. I'm a country boy, I tell my friends this, and they're like, "What? Where?" I was like, "I grew up in the city, but my heart is country. I am a steak and potatoes." And then even when it comes to your greens or your vegetables, I should say, it's more ground provisions, like your potatoes, your yams, your cassavas. They're like, I'm hearty, So nutrition to me is not necessarily what makes you healthy, which is the wrong mindset of it in the sense of how you said earlier. In a way, you have to understand what's on your plate and what it does for you. My onset of nutrition has always been how does it make me feel, not necessarily what I'm eating. And how it makes me feel, isn't happy or not, is like if I put it in my body, do I feel sluggish? Do I feel really sleepy?
Is it too heavy?
Is it too heavy? Do I take a power nap that lasts 6 hours after that dinner? When mindset is also a part of it, which I'm weak at, because I'll get a craving for Chinese and I can't wait for the weekend. And I eat it on the weekend because Friday I'm gonna throw down a half gallon of pork fried rice and 2 orders of chicken wings, and then I ask my wife what she wants to eat. And, and then I go to a food coma. I wake up.
You've seen it.
You wake up and it's Monday. I go back to work. You're like, dang it.
I'm still this next to him.
I swear, last time I did that, it was
where's it going?
months ago. And I just plate after plate, and I just lay down on the sofa, and I fell asleep for 4 hours. Yeah. And when I woke up, I was like, "That's a food coma," and it felt fantastic, but not good for you. Like, you gotta clean yourself up, boy. What's wrong?
You ever been to one of those Brazilian steakhouses?
Oh yeah, that was for your bachelor party. Remember that?
Like
bachelor party. That's how we ended it. We treated it like it was war.
They call the meat sweats is what you get from there.
Oh my
you're just like, whew, that happened.
I was sitting there like this. Ain't nobody else out. I'm hot.
You're like, man, I guess I'm gonna get that pineapple this time. Already.
We were like, let's retreat.
Yeah, man.
We for sure were like this, like
no, hands up.
Can't handle it. They have more men than we do. And it's not gonna
flip that token over like it's red now.
Yeah, we were like this, just staring out at each other
for a few days. My wife and I go into Atlanta. They probably have one. I'm probably gonna make a reservation.
Yeah, because I was just in Atlanta not that long ago, and there's a few spots you guys can hit up that like.
Yeah. We're gonna be in the downtown area right there by the aquarium.
Oh yeah, nice. Coca-Cola World.
So beautiful. Yeah. We're gonna be swimming with whale sharks. Not to get off topic.
Oh wow, interesting.
Me swimming, dude.
I know. I was gonna say, do you have your water wings ready? The life jacket.
I got a water.
No, we just lost him for a split second.
I guess he's getting his water wings real quick.
I'm sorry. No, my father was calling me. I had to end the call real quick. I'm sorry about that.
It's good. So honestly, the good take on as far as like what the nutrition means. I think it's interesting when you think about how like Trey, like you said, like so many different people have different idea what nutrition could mean to them. And if anybody wants to jump into the comments and give your input on what you guys think is nutrition, we'd love to hear just additional kind of back and forth with that, because it's great to see. Leads me to another question, because we kind of hit it, and Rob, you mentioned a little bit, and you're gonna lead this one off. But what foods do you consider to be nutritional? So foods that you think that give you some sort of value.
So,
and don't give us from what you've been hearing. I want you to hear what
No,
like.
Yeah, for you.
absolutely not. So my take on it is, I've always been prone to working out, weightlifting. I hate cardio. So anything that has a distance, I'm like, no, I'm good. My couch is right here. Why would I run? Like, we're just gonna end it back here. But for me, weightlifting has always been a thing. It's always been a passion of mine. It's always been a hobby of mine. It's always been something I've been very interested in. A part of that goes hand in hand is your protein intake, especially protein shakes, protein this. So counting your your macros and your carbs, fats, and your and so you're looking at any proteins and you're looking at that and saying, okay, what is nutritional on my plate? How can I maximize the amount of protein that I can put in my body without hurting my kidneys, but and eating clean in a way, so nothing fried, nothing super greasy or anything like that, nothing with a high fat percentage, but a decent fat percentage, but still fight that craving that I have, as I said from earlier, So it's making air fryers, I feel, are the best invention that God ever bestowed on us.
Well, mine used daily. Yeah.
Yeah, we use ours often.
We love it, and it's like you could make the same foods that you would in the frying pan with half a bottle of oil, and do it much cleaner and have the same taste, if not better. And
Yeah, argumentally much better.
Yeah, it's fantastic. For me, nutrition, as I said from earlier, fruits, vegetables, this and the other. My wife and I actually just a few days ago, we said, hey, look, there's no way that we could go to the grocery store and buy all these fruits and vegetables. Sometimes they spoil, and it's just a waste of money.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate. So we said, okay, how about we blend it? We make smoothies out of it. We make juices out of it. So carrots and celery and this. Yesterday, I think we made a banana. It was bananas, strawberries, and mangoes. A little bit of milk and ice. Fantastic. I'm gonna have some after we're done talking. But that helps. No added sugar, just the natural sugar that it has. The mango actually came from my dad's tree in his backyard.
Oh, nice.
Trinidad, yeah. He loves me. He has a mango tree, avocado tree, a few bananas, and what's the other one? I think a lemon or lime tree. It's huge. Takes up half the damn thing. But either way, anyway, he's a gardener. He has a green thumb. So,
Your dad is a master of a lot of trades.
yeah, dude. Anybody who can edit. My dad was an educator. He also was a principal. Not to get off topic. He was a principal of his own private school. He was a college professor, history, mathematics, and literature. And then he was a teacher, get this, in Trinidad since he was 14 years old. He's 83 this year. Wow. And he could teach
Bless his heart.
anything.
Yeah.
Anyone, anything. God bless that man, really. But and he's gardening and raising dogs. Like he was like breeding dogs at one point. Everything. When this man could do everything, I could barely breathe and speak at the same time. He's amazing. But looking at your plate, I feel like it's very important when you look at your plate and you say, 1, I want to eat this.
Yeah.
2, it's healthy for me. But 3, I'm not stressing myself out worrying about what's on my plate. Because for me, in experience, I'm like, I'll force myself into a diet and try to stay on that track. And I stress myself out more and end up relapsing harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then the half gallon of Chinese food turns into a full gallon of Chinese food, because it's just that much more that you've been craving. So it's like a good balance, as comments from earlier, the Instagram and Facebook comments were, that you have to find that balance, but there's a good balance between healthy and unhealthy, because you do have cravings, and those cravings can take over your month. If you have to have a good willpower to be able to either curb that craving or submit to it in a stable way and get back on track. That's my take. That's
not a bad take. I mean, to a degree. I mean, aside from the Chinese food. But
Yeah, that's never going. I don't think that's ever going away.
Not all
Trey, what do you
bad.
think?
What's your insight, brother?
So, the nutritional wise, I've tried a lot of things too. You know, so I've done smoothies, I've done juicing, you know, and I do really like, you know, the idea just going off eating off the tower just like that. That's it. You know, you brought it up. You said if if you're not enjoying what you're eating, you're just building a bad experience around the food you should be eating.
Yep.
You know, and like that's the hard part. So every time you know, like a kid would see something and then they're just repulsed by it instead of just like getting the opportunity to go mess with it, poke at it, and that do learn it, and then finally eat it. You know, it takes time, and got to be patient with that. You know, plants help me with that. And, but with the kids, man, for them, they were eating a lot of fruit back in the day, like a lot. They're 5 and 4 now, so we'd go get a bag of frozen strawberries from Costco, and they tear the whole thing down in like a week. And like, and I was just like, all right, so but we go out to eat, and what do you want to eat? I don't want anything that's for French fries. The French fries, like, okay, I'm like, we're gonna try something different. Like, so what I try to do is, I try to at least put the opportunity out there for my kids. And for myself, I surround myself with it, with the towers. That's how I help, stay on track. But, it's just all about, it's more of a behavior, for what kind of food you want. It's, some people get caught up on like the trendy food, like, oh, I'm gonna go here and go get whatever food, because it's good or whatever, or I don't like it because it don't taste that way. Well, find your alternative way to make it. There's a whole bunch of different combinations out there. To change it up. I mean, yogurt and chickpeas, you can do a whole bunch of that. There's a whole menu that just like, this side of the world's missing out on sometimes, and but I said, it also said there's no food I would say is nutritional. The whole idea of a superfood and all that, I think that just comes from our misunderstanding of the actual food itself. Which, you can grow the microgreens of all the stuff I'm growing now, and they got 40 times the nutrition in
like
space. Yeah, I'm like, why aren't we just going down chewing that down, instead, and just saving it our stomach or calories for everything else. It brings up a lot of ideas of what's the right nutrition, but I said for everyone it's different. So
yeah,
but it's all about how you said before, you take it if it makes you feel good, and it makes your body feel good. And like, of course, you're gonna want to hit on the big elements and stuff like that. Get your calcium, get your iron, all the things that your body needs to get your blood pumping. Because without the iron, the oxygen's not getting to your cells. To understand those reactions inside the body and supplement them, help them, do the best. And I think we crave certain foods. Some people say that like it means you're deficient in something, and I'm trying to do a little idea of how some research behind that and see how that goes. But definitely let y'all know, because
of course
it'd be good, because it'd be a really good reflectionary tool to use when talking to people about food, to see where they're at with it.
My wife lives on search, and I Google, because she'll start, and I know she's gonna watch this and hit me for it, but but she loves Googling a lot of the information, because for her, she's in the same boat. She doesn't want to ever say anything that's off and tell someone the wrong information. Right. Me and her both, we are distributors of Juice Plus too. We're partners with them with Juice Plus, and there's a lot of questions we get asked about, like, nutrition and the fruits and veggies, and especially because we both do the quad, which is the for Rob, because I don't know if you know everything, but it's the veggie pill or the veggie capsules, the fruit capsules, the omegas, and the berries. So we do all 4 of those every day, and everyone's like, but what's the benefit of it? And for the longest, even though I was in it, it was just kind of like, I didn't know how to answer that truthfully.
Sure, like what?
Yeah, because as much as I was feeling the difference, it's so hard to tell you, oh yeah, I'm doing this and this is why it's helped me, because I
Yeah.
didn't understand fully what it was doing.
Yeah, you want to make sure you aren't getting caught up on the placebo effect. And that
Exactly.
happens with stuff that even if it's something that's helpful and it's supposed to have good results, like sometimes you may make it too good a result, feeling wise because of that. But no, that's the way I was about it too. I wasn't sure, and I knew all the sciencey stuff behind it of why Juice Plus works and the bioavailability and how all the nutrients are processed and stuff. But yeah, it just taking it and like it's like telling someone like what you don't have anymore. Like, oh, what stuff did you have 5 years ago? I don't remember.
Like I don't remember. It's been gone so long.
Yeah, it's it just we get so used to something being normal when like it is not. It's something we adapted as normal, and eventually we come to terms with it, and
have it.
Yeah, like honestly speaking, since I started implementing, so I started off with the duo, and then like we were gradually just adding all of them into the quad. And I remember because I was saying, wait, let's see what it does.
Yeah.
And I remember doing it, and I started feeling, I felt energy. Yeah. And then I started doing, we also got the shakes. So we were also doing the shakes too. And at first I was like, oh, this isn't enough. But I was so used to these like heavy protein shakes. And I'm thinking like, this isn't enough.
Yeah.
And then I started playing with it and adding like extra stuff to it, even though it has a lot of fruits and vegetables already built in it. We would add like bananas and stuff like that, like all those like nice little, gave it an additional like taste to it. And then I started really feeling a difference when I got to adding the berries and then to the omegas, because like especially with the berries, my mind, I don't say my memory wasn't always great. I remembered a lot of useless stuff, but I was a plethora of useless information.
A lot of TV facts.
Yeah. But there was a lot of times where I would be in mid-sentence, I get sidetracked and come back to the sentence, and my wife is staring at me like, what were you saying? And I'm like,
nope.
And I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
And so then when I started doing the berries, that was one thing I started noticing after a couple of months, that I felt like I was remembering a little bit better. And I know a lot of it, they say blueberries help with memory. They help with a lot of stuff with your mind. And I know cranberries and cherries, strawberries, all those have like something to help out with as well. And I never really understood that until I honestly started doing it more often. And then I'm like, like now I still every so often kind of go, what was I saying again? But it doesn't take as long to go, oh yeah, this is what we were doing. Where like, before I'd be like 3 hours later.
Yeah, it's like the teeth fell off the gear and you're just putting them back on. That way it's catching the right amount of times. Yeah. Because I have to do that all the time. I'd be like, what was I talking about? And as soon as you tell me that, I got it. I'm right back in there. But like, even now, like while I'm talking, I'm still having those moments where like, I see it kind of like going out like, keep my mind steady where it's at.
It's amazing when you start adding different nutritions, different foods, fruits, vegetables, how that helps. Because I honestly did not believe for the longest that fruit and vegetables had so much to do with us. I just thought it was just something you ate. It was nutritional because it fueled you, but not that it did anything additional. And I was big on sweets. I love candy, chocolate. For the longest, you give me a bag of Skittles, I would devour them. Yeah, I was, and God forbid I was doing something and I'm not focused on what I'm eating. I'm just watching and throwing in my face. I would eat a whole. God, I could destroy those. And I was like, okay, well, what can I do? Because I have a sweet tooth. What can I do to fix that? And I went back to my roots because I loved apples. And we were watching videos and how fruit, and it's good to eat fruit because of they're high sugars, but they're high in fiber. And the good thing about that versus when you eat, like, let's just, for example, Skittles, is that Skittles doesn't have that fiber. So you're taking in the sugar, but it's just sitting there trying to process your liver, your kidneys are trying to process it. Where
Here's
with the
something else.
fruit, that fiber helps push it.
And so with that, so a lot of the sugar that they use in those candies are all fructose. So the brain and the gut have a little connection that tells you when you're full, and the glucose is kind of part of that too. It's built into the same system. And but you can eat a whole bag of Skittles because they know that you'll just keep eating. And that's how it's designed. And they don't tell you that, but that's just how it is. Because it's, hey, the more we sell, the more we make. Hey, it's good.
Right.
But yeah, you gotta. Oh, yeah. Dried fruits are amazing. That's my big thing. I got a dehydrator, and I used to do that with bananas, strawberries,
Oh, do you?
apples. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I was making some jerky and stuff too for once in a while. A little
Oh,
snack taken on the go. Yeah. I love getting creative. That's one of the things my dad picked up a little thing. I'm gonna learn how to dry fruit. That's what I did. Instead of having to go to Sprouts and go, scoop out or whatever I want, just make it. Yeah.
that's awesome. I've actually always wanted to try it. I just never knew how to do it. I just thought, like when they say, sun-dried tomatoes, I just figured like people literally just left them in the sun and just let it dry out. And my wife's like, no, you can do other ways to do it.
Yeah, you get like a screen above them and stuff like that, and then there's like rack you can get and air. Yeah, it's a whole
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I honestly was so stupid about it because I shouldn't even say it like that bad, but I was just literally just so dumb about it. It's like, I didn't think it was like, I just thought you literally sun-dried tomatoes. It's in the name.
Yeah. Apparently it's supposed to have, someone thought it worked that way, And probably back in the day it did,
Yeah, I'm sure.
Honestly, we bastardized it and everything else. Now it's what we got.
Everything is really consumed by technology, so
Yeah.
you don't need the sun anymore for a sun.
Oh,
Yeah.
the sun is there at this point just to get a nice tan.
Yeah.
Robbie, you know what? Because I have this post here and I wanted to, because you said something about the amount of protein.
Yeah.
And I know we try to focus a lot on like men's stuff, and I'm not trying to take away anything from women's because I know women probably would need something similar to this number.
Yeah.
But the amount of proteins that are per kilogram for our listeners of weight is 1 to 1.5 grams of protein for men daily is needed. And that's
180 to 200.
Yeah. So for that's amazing to see and hear, because I know I used to think, we need to have this massive amount of protein. So I would eat, steak and, fish and chicken, even though fish is still new to me. I just kind of got into that.
2 or 3 protein shakes on top of that.
Yep. Adding 2 or 3 protein shakes with it, thinking, that's what I need.
Yeah.
So imagine that we only need that 1 to 1.5 grams.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like, even though it's like, it sounds like very little bit, but that's still a lot. It's still a good amount. It's just, I think we over consume ourselves with protein because we hear, especially like I'm a guy and my dad used to always say, you need meat, dude. Meats, that's all that protein there to help you. And it's so weird how things have changed, and that old school thinking of nutrition is, you can just eat all this meat, maybe limit your rice, and that there you go, you hit it.
That's it. Yeah. You're saying too, like doing weightlifting and stuff. That's where you really want to pack in the protein. I see dudes like tons and tons, or they'll go out and just a huge meal, or hit at the buffet and they got to load in their protein. That's what they got to do.
And on top of that.
Yeah. When I was deployed, like that's all we had time to do is pretty much just get off work, you go work out, and that was it. And, we had everyone adjusted how they did everything, but but all these guys they bulk up and then they get back home and they just like lose it all again.
No.
Yeah.
And they put their bodies through so much stress just to get that result. And that's something I want people to think about sometimes. It's like, what are you doing it for? What are you getting jacked for? You just want to look good, or you want to like be strong, or you want to be fit? What's your goal in that?
Well, that could come from a lot, and a nutritional basis, and to stay on topic in a sense of a nutritional basis of that. But that could be, I've seen a lot of. We got to do a part 2 or 3 of that for men's mental health when it comes to the correlation between different psychological tortures and childhood things that go wrong, and the gateway through lifting weights to take care of that. Because I've seen plenty of my friends that would be like, yo, my dad this, my mom that, this, and the other. Weights is my way out. That's my dance.
Like, you're angry, you got aggression, here you go, lift this. You tired now? Yeah, okay, cool.
And it's a never-ending story because it's never satisfied, because you're not taking care of the problem, you're masking it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, Felix, what's up next on there?
So actually, I wanted to go and get to this question here. I think this is a really good question, and for the listeners here, we put up the question says, was there a major moment that made you reconsider your nutrition? So anything that's happened in your life that maybe has said, okay, what I'm doing as far as what I'm eating, what I'm consuming, what I'm putting in my body changed. It needs to change.
Right.
So, Trey, do you want to take the floor on this one?
Go first.
Yeah, man, I've had a couple times with that. So I used to drink a lot of energy drinks when I was in like high school. And when I got into the military, I was, doing it so I could stay up, study, and get ready, for training and stuff. But what ended up happening is, like, there was one night I just had too many, and like my heart was just beating, and I just was like sweating. I was just jittering, like I just felt like complete garbage. And I was like, you know what? I ain't had an energy drink in about 12 years. So, it took a moment like that just for me just to feel not good in my skin for a second to go, hey, let me cut these out of my life because it is not doing me any good. That and like that, more recent was I got up to like 243, and for me that's kind of big, and I just didn't feel good. I wasn't getting out walking like I used to. I used to walk a whole bunch. And I was eating bad again, and I just fell back into it, and I just hit that point. I looked at a picture of myself and I'm like, nah, this ain't me. And I finally started making those changes I need to get healthier, and that's kind of what led me back to the Tower Gardens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". Wow.
I'm much taller than me.
Yeah, right now I'm like 215, so I'm like 30 pounds down from that, which is really good. But sometimes I go back up like the 225. I'm like, nah, I gotta come back down. I just try to keep what's comfortable for my body, and stick with that, because I'm not gonna sit. I don't need to. I could be a few pounds lighter and be like not obese, BMI wise or whatever, like 29.9. But for me, I don't like being that light. Sometimes I just don't feel like I got all the energy I need. So I stick where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rob, you want to take this one? Or you want me to jump?
I can go.
Go ahead.
Well, a moment really for me was also a weight thing, but I did it to myself. I was getting into that complex where I wanted to be. I've always been a small guy. I mean, and I wrestled in high school, 9th grade. I was 105 to 110 weight class, which is not a weight class. I won most of my matches by default because I was a dude there. So it's the funny end of a participation award when you're that small for that long in a sport and competition that needs you to be lean, muscular, bigger in order to compete and to stay relevant in a way. So as I got older, I was like, okay, I got to work out, got to lift the weights, less cardio, pack on the protein, this, that, and the other. It took a few years, but I got up to about 192. I'm 5'4". So 5'4", 192 is.
I remember that too.
Good. Yeah, I was huge, and I thought I looked great. And no, I felt disgusting. Everything hurt. My knees hurt. My back hurt. I was slow. I was sluggish. Just to lay down and fall asleep. I had like this weight on my chest. I was like, what is going on? So up the cardio a bit, started to understand like, hey, you don't need to be that. You're past that. So I got down. Right now I'm like 180, like 180 to 184.
Yeah.
I've been able, actually, for Felix's wedding, I dropped down to 175, and I felt fantastic that whole time. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I need to find a way to stay at that 175 area, but also learn to manage my cravings, because I got back from 175. And he got married in October.
October.
From 175 back to 180, 184, 185.
Yeah.
In a short amount of time, because of my cravings. It's just like, oh, cool, great wedding. Let's celebrate with Chinese. Like, it is no. I live 2-3 minutes away from a place called Buffet City, which is nothing but trays of Asian cuisine, hibachi, Chinese food, sushi from Japan. Like,
we've been there. I think I gave up on the third plate. He was already 10 plates deep.
Yeah, 14 is my limit. That's what I've got.
14 your limit?
Yeah, 14. Yeah. I start getting bad looks when I do that.
I give up. I eat until I'm satisfied mentally, or my wife is embarrassed. And
oh God,
that's when I stop. I'm like, okay. When she's looking at me and going,
normally I've seen your wife go, Robbie.
You know what get me though? When people try to give me food, like, oh, don't worry, Trey will eat it. Trey will eat it. Like, nah, stop giving me food. Like, if I don't want it, I don't want it. Like,
don't call me out either.
Yeah, like I can, but I'm not going
to. We hang out. That's what they do. Be like, did you cook enough for Robbie's coming over? I'm like, damn. Am I
100%? We'll cook for 100 people. We have to cook for 110 because Robbie eats like 10 of those.
When we were chilling over by Juve's house, and y'all ordered extra wings and pizza because you knew that I was coming along with Monty. He was like, Monty, eat, but Robbie's coming. It makes me. I'm flattered, but it's also hurtful.
To be fair, though, that night, let's be real. That night, though, you did prove us right, though.
Now I've never seen y'all there because money was spent.
He said, "Challenge accepted."
I'm not gonna waste your money. Crazy. It's going down. Yeah, man. But that was my turning point where it was just like, look, you really don't have to go. And I was aiming for 205.
Wow.
My wife, who works with a close in hand cardiologist, was like, you need to cut the, excuse my language, of crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, I was going to use a different word, but it's like, you need to cut the crap. And it's like, all right, like she obviously knows what she's doing. She graduated valedictorian in her class. She works with this on a daily basis, and she sees the repercussions of going down this line. So, definitely trying the route of the wedding and get back down into the 170s myself.
Yeah.
And understand, what nutrition should mean to me with a good balance of satisfying those cravings, but also satisfying your health. Yeah. How you feeling?
Well, I mean, it's funny because the major moment for me, I actually had two moments for that really stuck to me, and I try my hardest to really get better with my health and stay on top of it, because it happens. You get lazy, like you said, you get a craving, but it's just I never let it try to consume. So once I got in my fill, I go right back into get back on it, because I don't want to deny myself either of that bad habit, or not the bad habit of that treat, because sometimes you just kind of need it to kind of keep yourself in a good balance.
Yeah,
too much of a good thing can sometimes still be a bad.
Exactly.
So for me, the first one was my weight. So I'm 5'6", 5'5", around that height. And I had weighed in at one point in time, right out of high school, at 299, 300 pounds, which was my heaviest.
Yeah.
So how my heart didn't stop then, I don't know. But I had the hardest working heart going on in Orlando, Florida that year.
Yeah. Purple Heart. He went through a war, man.
Seriously. And I was wearing I still have the shirts. I wore 4X and my pant sizes were 42.
Wow.
So I remember saying, I gotta lose weight. I had to get into it. So I did Herbalife. I did a lot of other things to try to help out. And then I started cutting out soda, and that helped me out tremendously. And I just started increasing my water intake, and I started taking away juices. And then I got as low as 170. I'm right now about 215, 214 is where I've been. I can't seem to break off of that. I think I got to 210 for the wedding, and then I went right back to 215.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a 190 for the wedding, but I just couldn't get down further.
You had the
It's
ambition for like a month. And then you're like, oh, good wedding.
Yeah. All right.
Honestly speaking, I tried hard cardio. I was changing what I was eating. I was changing what I was drinking. I think I cut liquor for like 2 months, and I don't know. I was trying everything I possibly could to try to cut the weight. I don't know if maybe some of it is muscle because I was lifting weights too. So that also sometimes I focus on the number too hard because I always forget that it's not counting whatever muscle I'm gaining. So I try to focus on like the body mass and the fat percentage.
Right.
But the next real big thing that changed for me as far as my health was my dad. My dad passed 2021 to liver cirrhosis. And he was diagnosed in 2015. He got diagnosed with it, but the cirrhosis wasn't as bad. And at the beginning of 2021, his liver just decided to not kind of hold up, and he ended up, eventually passing from it. And seeing my dad go through that process, it changed a lot in me, because then everything we were trying to get him to eat, he started trying to eat then. But I felt like at that point, and now that I reflect on it, some of it may have been too little too late because he had done so much damage to it that we needed to jump and get him a new liver faster. Unfortunately, he could never get to that point. But I'm what I started thinking now, and my wife, who went through what we went through together, she was there with me when everything happened. And she was a big factor to my dad too, because she was us saying, Dad, you need to eat this. Dad, why don't you look at this? And we were adding and stuff that he's never ate in his life, probably. I think he ate more greens and
YOLO, let's go.
He saw more color on his plate than I think he's ever seen in his life. He's used to rice and beans and chicken. That was it. Or rice, beans, steak. It was never really that much greens on his plate.
Well, how's the quality of life though? Did he feel a lot better those last few months?
Those last few months, he did feel a little bit better. It was a little. He was also in a lot of pain because he started getting ascites, which is the buildup of fluid in your body.
Yeah.
So he was swelling on his stomach area from all the fluid.
Man.
So he was also very uncomfortable because his body was just retaining so much fluid.
Yeah.
But seeing my dad go through that, I was kind of like, you know what? I need to take my health seriously. I myself had 3 years back to back of kidney stones. I had, heavy weight. I pre-exposed to diabetes because my mom and my dad both had diabetes or have diabetes. My mom still has it, but she's working with us now, and we're actually trying to get her diabetes, which is dwindling a little steadily, but it's a work in progress. And we've looked at the foods that we're eating because I think we were so used to a certain way of living because, this is what we've always done. We never thought about, let's break the habit and look to eat differently. And I think more and more now we're trying as a family, and my wife, who's, again, I give her a lot of credit, and she's watching this now. She's probably loving it, but it's so much that she's involved, not just bringing in Juice Plus to our life, because adding in the 30 plus servings of fruits and vegetables from those capsules have helped, but it's also what we're doing on the outside of that. What else are we consuming? Are we ingesting anything with high pesticides or hydrogenated foods, or I've never used to read the labels.
Yeah.
I used to just grab whatever it was. Oh, this looks good, and just consume it. I've read more labels now than a book. I read everything I grab. I'm reading a label, and it's so weird for me because sometimes I get into a bad habit and I'll pick up whatever, but then I go, oh wait, like I'm at the cashier looking at it, and oh wait, put this away. I don't want it.
Yeah. You gotta do that sometimes, and they change the ingredients on you every once in a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like those burger. Like, I see some great value brands apparently that has some big changes and that weren't very favorable. It was on TikTok, that's all. But yeah,
it's the same video I'm thinking of. I saw it too, and we started watching all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing I went through. I'm like, dude, there's some stuff I stay away from. You know, if you know that someone's probably going to cut your nutrition and your well-being out of it, you know, out of their, because they want profit instead, that's what they're going to do. You know, it's up to us to decide what we're going to pay for, what we're going to buy. Right. You know, if I don't want to go to the store and spend all the money on fruits and vegetables. Okay, I'll grow it here. And that's what I do instead. You know, taking control of your nutrition is what, you know, that's the best thing you can do is do, so I cut the supply chain, and especially I say, we were talking about earlier, like you buy the bag of lettuce, but it tastes different. It's because it's been in a bag for a week, going from wherever to where you're at, and then
it's lost most of the nutrients by the time it's got there.
Yeah, I felt bad for the people in Alaska because at the conference they were talking about that everything has to go from like Seattle on a boat to Alaska. So I said stuff like we can get like a week, maybe a week and a half in the fridge. They get a few days to a week, and then it's bad. So they're tossing out food left and right. And
they have to buy it and eat it at the exact same time, or it's gone.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And realistically,
oh my god.
Yeah. You know what that they say, like we're supposed to have over 30 plus servings of fruits and vegetables. You know how hard that is to do?
A day?
Yeah.
A day.
Well, it's 7 to 9. I know there's like 30 different ingredients between all I got this little Juice Plus laminate thing, and has all the different fruits and vegetables that are in each and every one of the capsules.
Yeah.
The promotional materials. I think 7 to 9 was the number I was hearing for that.
Yeah.
I would just try to, if I can get as much as I can to where like I'm still feeling good, I'll just keep eating, you know, that's it. And if I have extra, like I'll just give it out to my neighbors. I'm like, hey, I got 140 plants, I got 24 lettuces. Let me go ahead and here you go. That's for you now. You know, so that way.
Me and my neighbors used to do that too with our tower because he grows some stuff like just from the ground, and then we use the tower. So there was times where we were trading stuff like peppers, and he would bring over like lettuce or thyme or whatever it was he was growing. Hey, bro, try this.
Yeah, that's the best part about it. Like builds community, and like y'all get to cook and enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's food. That's it. That's what it's here for. It's for us. You know, it's how we build our bodies up. You know, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, that's everything that we've had today. I definitely feel like we need to do a part 2 of this. I think there's more we can get into this. This definitely has gone. There's a lot of stuff that I have more going in my brain, but we can't fit it in today. So we got to do a part 2. So, guys, I want to hear what also our fans. What you guys think of nutrition, maybe things that you guys eat, things that maybe tips that you guys are doing that can help us out or help anybody else out who's watching watching the episode. So guys, again, this will be airing on Facebook and YouTube. We are also dropping it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, so make sure you guys are hearing that is there. I did want to end today on a Rated F news. So this episode will drop on the Sunday, so it's going to be a little bit older for a lot of people. But I would be remiss to say, first off, happy Independence Day. It's 4th of July weekend, so happy Independence Day for everybody. But I also wanted to congratulate one of my favorite rappers, and this is a Rated F news for me, is Busta Rhymes receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards this past week. He was I grew up with him. I used to love listening to I still listen to Busta Rhymes. Busta, what it is right now. Oh, I used to love it. And every time his music would come on, I would stop what I was doing. Nope, I gotta jam out to him.
Yeah,
and I loved even when he did that old. It's old now, but when he was on that Chris Brown song, "Look at Me Now," and he hadn't been on a song in a little bit, and he did that, and he busted that old school Busta, and he did the rapping fast, and I was like, oh my god, he still got it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I want to shout him out. It was a big news. I don't know how you guys feel about Busta, but I love me some Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
I remember some of his songs. I don't really listen to rap that much. I haven't listened in a very long time, but I remember his songs. I remember he's definitely one of the biggest names in rap.
Yeah.
For him, man, it's awesome.
Yeah, so it was awesome to see that. So hopefully, if you are watching this Busta Rhymes, we love you here and we congratulate you.
Right, congratulations.
All right, guys. So Robbie, do you have anything else for us?
No. I just want to thank Trey for coming on in and hanging out with us for an hour.
That was awesome. Appreciate it, guys. I'm excited for a second part to this one. I'm really excited. So I see it all kind of like just processing it. Like, oh, this is gonna be good.
It's taking its process.
Yeah,
very good.
I want to hear what the comments. I definitely want to see get some questions out of everybody, because I like answering questions and going on researches. So if there's anything that you just want to know, just let me know, and I'll go figure it out.
Sure.
Beautiful. Is there anywhere that we could maybe we could tag them like in the comments of where they could reach you, or like
yes,
you mentioned your YouTube?
Yes, I got Trey Thomas 35 is my YouTube, and I have a TikTok as well. I'll send those over. In the bio, and you can go. So
okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll go ahead and drop those up for everybody who wants to reach out. So guys, like I always, man, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the channel, stay up to date with everything that we do and that we're we do post pretty daily on our channel. And then also, guys, follow us on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. Once again, we'd love to see those ratings at 5 stars, but if it is less, say with your chest and just breaks my heart, but hopefully it's 5s. Also, reach out to us, guys. Let us know what you guys want to talk about. If you liked what we talked about, continue talking to us about what we talked about today, because that's also some great feedback. I love it. I love seeing the banter.
Oh, it's beautiful.
All right, guys. Well, and thanks again to Trey. Thank you for being here. This is amazing to have you here.
Thanks,
Part 2 definitely will be in the works for this. And until next time, everybody.
Peace.
Wow.